You can start when you're ready.
All right. Hi, I'm Addison Mary.
I'm Emma.
I'm Olivia.
I'm Zach.
I'm Ryan.
And we are Sitter Search. So this is Susan. She's a working mom with 3 children and often finds it difficult to balance work life with being a mother. Finally, she's a Friday night off where she has tickets to go see a show, but first she has to find a sitter. She calls the only 2 sitters that she knows, but discovers that neither of them are available. Susan panics and she doesn't know what to do. We've all been there, whether you're the worried and stressed parent who can't find a sitter or the babysitter who has to say no. We all know the feeling. Personally, myself, Olivia, and Addison are all babysitters and have had to tell a parent no and cannot give them the help that they need. But that is where Sitter Search comes in. Sitter Search is a mobile website that connects parents with reliable sitters in the Barrington community. Therefore, we are local, also affordable, and we provide our services through trusted recommendations. When signing up for Sitter Search, parents and sitters will both create profiles and friend one another. This is an example of a sitter's profile where she talks about her age, her qualifications as a sitter, as well as a little bit about herself. Of all the parent interviews that we conducted, all the parents said that they'd like to see a qualification that a sitter has because it gives them a sense of trust, as well as the personality of the sitter because it may align with their children's interests. According to Red Cross, 81% of sitters are chosen through recommendations because it gives the parent, again, that sense of trust. How a recommendation aspect works is parents will notify and send out a date and time to their sitters whom are their friends. But if none of their sitters whom are their friends are available to sit, then it will recommend and notify their sitters' friends because the parents feel more trust with a recommended sitter. So parents will input a certain date and time they need a sitter, and the sitter can accept or decline that depending on their availability.
Through our MVP, we test our customers, our price, and our service. We test our customers by passing out flyers at local shops with a QR code at the bottom, and then we're able to scan the QR code, and they were sent to our landing page, where they were able to schedule babysitting jobs. We test our price by collecting parent emails through our website, and we sent them a survey asking if it was affordable or not. And we test our service by creating babysitting profiles and then adding it into our group me where we schedule jobs to see if this was efficient for both parents and sitters. This is what our group me looks like. We add sitters who have created a profile, and then we send them out to parents who need babysitting jobs. They then can select the sitter that they want.
So we use a fraction of the MVP money that we received and we targeted it towards marketing. We first allocated some money to Facebook and Instagram ads, Facebook to target parents and Instagram to target high school sitters. But we found out that these sources were they weren't working very well because the insights and the clicking on the ads weren't very successful, so we stopped with Facebook and Instagram. We also printed out flyers and we went to the Park District as well as Heinen's to hand them out. We also handed them out at the Barrington Family Expo where we were able to talk to a lot of parents and get them interested and gain their emails. We also had a segment on VHS TV and are in contact with the Barrington PTO as well as the Barrington Junior Women's Club. And we also replied to posts on Nextdoor about parents who needed sitting jobs or sitters who would like to join our service. And then for future marketing, we want to continue those same things that we did for the MVP. We do also want to do Facebook and Instagram, even though they weren't successful for the MVP, because as we expand to surrounding towns and kind of take our model to like Palatine, Arlington Heights, Crystal Lake, we are a local member of that community, so we'll need Facebook and Instagram to be an extension of ourselves. In addition, we want to go to more events like the Barrington Family Expo, or go to different health and sports clubs where a lot of parents and mothers go. Also sports games where we can get parents who are watching their children, but also sports games for high school students to gain those sitters.
We have learned that it's harder to get in contact with parents and sitters, so we are focusing our MVP on getting more parents to sign up for our $50 6-month subscription. Qualitatively, we have learned that parents would like to test our service through a one-time free trial, which we have implemented. And we've also learned that they'd like to know if the sitters can drive or not. Both parents and students have also told us that they'd like to start paying us through Venmo, which we have started doing instead of cash. And we have also implemented an Uber model into our business because we learned not all the sitters respond to our postings on the GroupMe, which Zach showed before. And quantitatively, we have 49 sitters and 8 $50 6-month subscriptions. Through our research, we have learned that our direct competitors are SitterCity and Care.com, and our indirect competitor is Nextdoor. All three of these services are nationwide, whereas we are local. And through our research, we have discovered that parents felt that a nationwide service would supply less reliable and trustworthy sitters, which is why we're focusing on only using high school students as our sitters from the town of the parent.
So far, over the course of 4 months, we have had 8 6-month $50 6-month subscriptions. We have collected 65 parent emails, and we have 49 registered sitters from the ages of freshmen to seniors. And over the course of 4 months, we have scheduled 42 babysitting jobs. And we are currently in contact with 5 parents that are in need of summer nannies. So the money that we spent so far was through the Barrington Family Expo, and that was just supplies for like our posters. And we also spent money on flyers, Facebook and Instagram ads, and stickers. So far over the course of 4 months, we have generated a revenue of $700, and then minus our expenses, we have a profit of $541.
Our total addressable market is roughly $5 billion, and this is based upon all of the money spent on babysitting in the U.S., whether it was through an online service or direct contact. And then our serviceable addressable market is roughly $308 million, and this is based upon all of the money spent on babysitting within Cook County. And we calculated these from information found on Statista, and over the 5 years, we'll have less than 1% market share. So our first source of revenue is a $50 6-month subscription for the parent, and this will give them unlimited sitter scheduling through our service. And this was determined through parent interviews, and we decided to use this instead of a monthly subscription, as parents were able to cancel once they found a sitter. And we also have an hourly rate of $11 for one child, plus a $2 additional hourly fee for every additional child. And this was determined through student interviews, and is how the parent will be paying the sitter. And we will be taking 10% of this cost. 1 unit in our financial model is $440, and this is based off of 6 months. So that is why it includes the $50 semi-annual subscription, as well as an average of $13 an hour, as every household has an average of 2 kids, and it will be for an average of 30 hours over the 6-month time span, as we found through our parent interviews that parents need a sitter twice a month for an average of 3 hours. So over time, our revenue will be growing as we will be expanding into surrounding towns such as Palatine, Lake Zurich, and Hoffman Estates. We will also be raising our subscription price due to higher demand, and we will also be looking into implementing surge pricing, just like Uber has, where we will have higher prices for holidays and weekends. So for the cost of goods sold on the $50 subscription, there is a $1.75 for credit card transactions. So that is a $48.25 gross profit margin, which is 96.5%. And then for the $13 hourly fee, there is a high cost of goods of $12.38 because the parents will be paying us the $13, and then we will be paying the sitter 90% of that. And then we also have to take into consideration the credit card as well. So that is a 62-cent margin at 4.8%. And then over time, our profit will be growing as well. To take a look at the first year, we'll have a revenue of $55,000 and a profit of $15,000. And in order to expand into these nearby towns, we are going to need money for technology and to keep updating it over the 5 years, as well as hiring representatives in other towns so that they can help with marketing and spreading the word. Also with marketing that Emma discussed earlier, and office supplies. We have a pre-money valuation of $221,155, and this is based upon our profit over the 5 years. And we have a 50% discount rate, and this is lower than some other groups, but we decided that we were a little bit less risky since we already have proven success. So we're asking for $30,000 and we're willing to give 12% of our company, and we'll be using the $30,000 for our website construction and our legal costs of $1,160 and our marketing cost of $7,000. And this is a little different from what you may have saw in the brochure earlier, because after talking with our mentor, who's a marketer, she told us to allocate more money towards our marketing costs. And then we were also able to get a discount on the website construction, as Addison's cousin is a coder. We have cumulative losses of $1,760, and since we put more money into our marketing, we were able to lower our liquidity cushion to $10,080. And in 5 years, we're looking to sell our company to Nextdoor, because Nextdoor focuses on connecting local neighborhoods and towns, and a small part of their business focuses on babysitting, so we thought that they would be interested in expanding that part. And if we sell the Nextdoor, when we sell the Nextdoor, we'll have a money multiple of 5.4 times and an internal rate of return of 45.6%, meaning that if you invest in us, you will be making roughly $160,000. So overall, it's clear that we have a proven solution to a frustrating problem. We are Sitter Search, trusted sitters, reliable jobs. Thank you.
So the $50 is just the opportunity to sign up for babysitters.
Have access to our website.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
they can't find sitters without paying that.
Yeah.
And now, what was the failure with Facebook and Instagram? What
So we posted on Facebook and Instagram, and you like set like an amount of money to it, but we found out that while it reached like 1,000-something people, not very many like actually clicked on the post and then engaged where it like went to our website. So we thought that it just wasn't very successful, and we marketed it to like women in the Barrington area. So that's why we didn't continue doing it.
And was the direct marketing much more effective?
Yeah, because we were able to like really talk with parents and engage them in like what we're really doing.
Grocery stores, good idea.
Yeah.
We were hoping to go to Joel Osco and like have a booth in front and then potentially talk to like moms.
We have been behind those too.
We
Yeah.
haven't, but
Which we got a lot of parents, but we're not supposed to solicit there, so.
yeah, so like,
They threw you out, Heidi?
Yeah.
yeah.
But like, we got some
It
new
was-
parents
okay,
before,
but
so
like
that
they
was
were
good.
nice.
You haven't
about
gone through a
it.
startup until you've gotten kicked out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, like, we know you're doing
Yeah,
this.
they were nice about it.
Yes.
So what's your customer makeup like? How many kids, what are the ages of the kids, what are the ages of the parents?
So we have 49 registered sitters right now, and they range from freshmen to
Okay,
seniors.
so that's the workforce side. What about the demand side?
Oh, the parents?
Oh,
Honestly, it's like all ranges from like newborns or like baby, like
Yeah.
month-old children to like 9-year-olds.
So, I like this $50 model,
Mhm.
I like the recurring nature of that, and I get it, and I get the gross margin of it, really good, 98%. I'm a little just on the fence about you paying the sitter and making such a small amount on that. Like, it's virtually a pass-through cost, you're only making like 4% on it. And what's to prevent, like, in reality, there's a very high risk that once somebody is introduced to the sitter on your site, that they're just gonna go direct. Just out of ease, like, I don't have to book through you guys, I can just call, oh, what are you doing next Saturday?
Right.
And they connect the relationship.
Yeah, we created a parent contract that we sent out to all the parents, saying that like, we have policies also if it's like within 48 hours, we can't like guarantee that like you're gonna get a sitter. So we put that in there just to like, obviously it's nothing like super legally binding, but we hope that the parent stays true to their contract.
It's kind of you're trusting them and you're putting
Yeah.
a little bit of teeth there that says, all right, you'll pay me. And I think it's smart to take credit cards from the parent. You're paying the sitters via Venmo.
Yeah.
So there's no transaction fee there.
Yeah, Yeah, well, as of right now, because I think the credit card transaction fee was like when we're looking forward for like our website using like Square Up or something.
So I'm the like treasurer, I guess, and so all the sitters, the parent pays me, and then I am through Chase. So like there's like a fee from switching from Venmo to Chase, because then I have to go to Chase Bank.
Well, I think you could dig into that a little bit more and reduce the 13, let's just forget about the $50
Okay.
payment. The $13 amount, if you accept Venmo from the parent
Yeah.
and pay the student or the sitter in Venmo, there's no transaction fee, you can do free.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Now, if you want the parent to be able to pay for the $13 on their credit card,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a different story. Some places, say, well, I have to charge you more.
Right, yeah.
That's a little, I don't know if it's by the credit card rules, but you're working on such a thin margin on that sitter pay rate and what you're billing out. I think you might want to change that.
What's kind of the standard rate for sitters, you know?
In Chicago, it's an average of $13, $14.
Oh, it is, so they're kind of getting shortchanged as it is.
Exactly.
But they're in a pool, right? Do you have a contract for the sitters
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah,
That
they're supposed to
says-
like be responsible.
We set them like guidelines.
What about from a business perspective in terms of you can't solicit the parent?
No, we haven't added that. We just had like responsibility guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
You can play that the other way,
Yeah.
from a loyalty perspective,
Mhm.
because you're a customer, blah, blah, they will get the first rights to popular babysitting dates, like Valentine's Day, like Friday and
Yeah.
Saturday nights, whatever, PTO
Plant deposits.
night out events where there's a big rush, if you don't nab your babysitter, forget it, because your favorite is gone. So perhaps there's some sort of a loyalty card that you could play there.
I can't tell you how many pitches we've seen where a team is trying to do one of the following. Connect students to employers, connect students to odd jobs, connect students to sitting gigs,
Mhm.
and none of them have really taken off. On paper, they sound like, oh gosh, this thing's going to explode. I have a thought of why that is, but what's going to make you guys different? Like, why are you going to take this and scale it where a lot of your peers haven't been able to do that?
Well, what we're banking, like what we are in our unique value proposition is that we're really local, because a lot of parents like to see that we have high school sitters that go to Barrington High School, and I went and talked, when I babysat, talked to them about, I don't know, something we did at the high school, and they really like that connection and that personal feel that you have with the company. Also, in comparison to Care.com, we're a lot more inexpensive than their monthly annual subscriptions. So.
Anybody else have anything to add? Why you guys may be different?
I mean, we're expanding to more towns soon, so that helps us scale it faster than just staying in Barrington.
One of the things I'm going to challenge you with is, you all are students and you're busy, you got stuff going on, you're getting ready for college, you have other classes, you have extracurricular activities, Starting a company is really hard, and the way the ones that really make it work are they're relentless. They just work really hard at it. So I think this is about, if you're going to execute, which means I'm going to get enough sitters, and I'm going to sell, and I'm going to make sure the website works, and I'm just going to not stop. I'm going to do something every single day in this business. And if 5 people do something every single day in the business, the compounding effect of all of you guys working on it every day, 5 of you, you'll have something cool. If you're kind of in and out, it probably won't work.
Well,
So how's that going to work?
so one of us always is checking our email, so as soon as we get an email, we immediately
Yeah,
send something
and
out
I
to
have
the group meeting.
notifications too on my phone and the iPad.
I always am quick to respond.
And we haven't missed any sitting jobs. If a parent
Well,
asks
not
us
within 40 hours. Some
Yes.
the parents oh, I need to sit there 2 hours, and it's very difficult. But we're still even able to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, we have a lot of sitters, and even if they like, none of them respond, we like talk to a lot, like, we go out of our way to make
Yeah,
sure
like
that
for my
they-
classes, like I ask multiple people, like every class period I ask them.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, well, and no company, no team has made $700 in their MVP. You might hold the world record for that. So tell us how you did that. You have 42 sitting gigs.
Yes.
How many subscriptions did you sell?
8.
8 subscriptions, and everyone paid you $50?
Yep.
So that's $400.
Yes.
And then the remaining 300
It's
came
around-
from the difference between the pay and the bill?
Yeah, we had around, like, I would have to go check for sure, but we had a lot of hours.
Yeah.
It was like 1,000 or 2,000 hours worth of babysitting.
Already
job. Yeah.
done.
So I would promote that
Yeah.
in terms of, 42
Yeah.
sitting gigs, but maybe hours of of care for children.
Well, and of the $50 subscriptions that we sold, how many hours are left
1
to
minute.
execute on that? Have they?
Well, they're not hours, it's a 6-month.
Yeah. so-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like unlimited sitter scheduling for those 6 months.
Mhm.
How
So
do
there's
you-
no like hourly limit.
How do you vet your sitters?
Well, as of right now, we like know a majority of them, or they know someone, like the recommendation thing that we talked about, and they all go to Barrington High School. They also like fill out a survey before that has like the qualifications and like what they can do and their age.
So typically, we won't send a profile to a parent unless they have 2 to 3 years of babysitting experience.
Do you do reference checks?
No. Like background checks or?
No, but just calling, hey, tell me 3 parents that you sat for, and you call them up saying, Johnny wants to be a babysitter for us,
No, but that's a good
you
idea.
should be reference checks. You can have them vetted.
Yeah, for like a job.
Yeah.
So there is no circumstance in your model where you would provide a babysitter for a parent unless they've pre-subscribed?
We have the one.
Yeah,
We
the
had
one
this
time
one
free
time, like,
Free trial.
if they're new, like, we're gonna you don't have to pay the subscription, you can just try it out, like, if you like our service, and then the next time you come back and you want a job, you have to pay
You have to
the $50.
subscribe.
Yeah,
We can,
Love it.
if we can set that up
right.
to be more crystal clear,
Yeah.
that would be great.
This is
Because
a-
in essence, you're selling a membership to this sitter
Yep.
search service.
And there's no free memberships into our exclusive club because it's very valuable.
Right.
Don't give it away and
Right.
don't cheapen it by, like, one time is fine. And I would even, one time if it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, but we don't do this free on Saturdays and Sundays, or Fridays, Saturdays and
Right.
Sundays.
And would you consider a surcharge for, like, if someone books a sitter 3 hours in advance versus
Yeah.
a day?
Yeah,
Some
we-
sort of,
I think we had that,
We
we
had
had
that in
cancellation.
like in the future, that we were gonna implement that. And it would be for like holidays or weekends. We haven't really thought
Well,
about
that's
that.
your surge pricing. I think when Nick is asking
Yeah, like if
about-
they cancel.
because it's worth
they-
$1,000 an hour to some parents.
To some parents,
If
it
the
is.
babysitter
If
doesn't
they
work.
got just amazing tickets to Rolling Stones, it is worth
Yeah.
$1,000 to just get a
Maybe
sitter.
not $1,000 an hour.
Well, you might want to do that, you might want to name your price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, make an offer,
True.
here's our
Yeah.
rate, but if you want to make an offer, we can, like,
Yeah, for sure.
and just have somebody say, I'm willing to pay X, and they fill in the blank.
Let them fill in blank with some zeros.
What about, I didn't understand at the beginning the little networking effect.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't understand.
So,
Try to fix
yeah, we
this.
tried to like not make it confusing, so pretty much when setting up sitters, they parents consider sitters friend parents. So this is like from a parent's perspective, so they're gonna have their sitters who are their friends, and then if none of them like are available, then that, the little bubble on the outside shows like your sitter's friends, so like this would be like your sitters.
So that implies that if you're a subscriber, your friends are also subscribers.
Oh, well, these are like your sitters. So then you're
Like
just.
the sitters.
Oh, these are the sitters' friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, I'm a sitter, but here's my friends.
Yeah.
And if you like me, you're like them.
Exactly.
Birds
So
of
you're
a feather.
trying
But then we also want to
Demonstrate
implement that
bigger.
to like parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is will help with like the recommendation aspect and trustworthiness.
Okay.
1 minute again.
And then can you go to the text notification?
Yeah.
Is this live or is this a prototype?
This is a prototype.
And how do you communicate with this in the 42 gigs? Did you just send a normal text or did you call them or?
Yeah, so well, what we did was the parents emailed us, they submitted a form on our website, and then we put it in our group meet, like what that, and then sitters can reply yes or no, so then we send their profiles, and the parents without contact information, because we wanted to not have the parents have access to all their contact information if they're not doing it, because then they could just go back and archive and get it. And then we would send the information to the parent, and then the parent would text them.
Okay, did you have any sitters that didn't show out of the 42? Would you have known if they didn't show?
Yeah, the parent would probably contact us.
We asked for parent feedback on almost every job.
Yes.
And of the 42 gigs, you got parent feedback from how many of them?
All of them?
Yeah,
Most of them? And you got a super happy smiley face, or you got a sad face?
Any areas where, hey, there's opportunities for improvement? Like this?
There was, so there's one parent, and she didn't have a good experience, and also one of the mentors, Laura Krasinik, she knows the mom, and she kind of
Easy,
said
stop.
that the parents.
No names.
Yeah.
No.
So are you
No.
saying though 41 out of 42 were extremely
Yeah.
happy? Yes.
Yeah.
So you may want to talk to us about
Yeah.
that, even if it's as simple as 41 out of 42 reviews were 5 stars, 4 stars.
You hit it in your very first slide. You said trustworthy, affordable and all that.
Yeah.
That's where you can have some good talk points.
Yep.
Right,
Right.
right,
42 out of 95% of people using us love
Yep.
us.
right.
98%.
And
Right.
when
30 seconds.
you talk about scaling to another town,
Hold it down.
this is a quality you want to hold on to is your hometown sitters. Not Lake Zurich sitters, not North Shore sitters, because I don't know those folks
Yeah.
as a parent.
Yeah.
I need my
Yes.
trusted circle close in. The farther away they're out, the less friendly.
Are you all in to win or
Yeah, I
Four
know.
out of 4 out of 5.
Yes.
you're not, Zach? Okay. Ryan, you are?
Yeah.
All right. By the way, how many of your 49 sitters are male, what's the male-female break?
99% are
Now,
female.
how about a little diversity here?
The guys, typically guys don't babysit, so
It's hard to
it's
get
really
them.
hard to get them to
And we gave a guy's profile to one of
Yeah.
our parents, and
And
the parents said they wanted a female.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Those of all boys?
But she wasn't, I think she had one boy and one girl. But I know parents with all boys do
Right.
male
Yeah.
sitters.
Particularly for summer nannying.
Yeah, go back to Lara on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except they're not reliable.
That's an issue too, right?
That's an issue, yeah.
Okay.
Awesome, guys.
All right.
Great.